Hello everybody and welcome back for another episode of Any Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out Sumo Smashdown. This is a 1v1 local multiplayer game and it's probably the only time in 800 plus episodes that I've decided I wanted to cover a game that has absolutely no single player mode. I just really like this concept and for whatever reason it really grabbed me as quite entertaining, and I'm just imagining if I had somebody to play this with I would have a really good time because I was actually able to sit and play this by myself. Even though there was basically no challenge, I was just kind of fiddling with the physics system of it for, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes. It's kind of ridiculous. Anyway, let's press the key and I will explain what exactly we're going to be doing in Sumo Smashdown and why I think it is a fantastic game, especially because it's free too. Certainly helps a little bit. First, we're going to look at the options menu. Got sound effects, we got music, we got resolution settings, anti-aliasing, and full screen options. All of those pretty good stuff. Pretty much stuff I would expect at this point, but the presentation of it all is quite nice. I really like the title screen as well as the typography with the rainbow lettering behind it. It's very bright, very colorful, very happy and vivid, and also kind of chill at the same time, and that's sort of the method behind this mayhem. So here is our premise for Sumo Smashdown. I know you've waited long enough. So the goal of the game is to become the most fashionable, attractive wrestler ever. So the winner is the person who stays on the platform. There's going to be a platform set over spikes. Two sumo wrestlers are launched from cannons, sort of like we were playing Worms with bazookas or something like that. And we basically have to knock our opponent off while staying on. Pretty simple premise, right? Winning is simple, be the one who doesn't die yet, because whoever lands on the spikes gets impaled rather violently. It's kind of a funny counterpoint to how cartoonish and silly this game is, that there's like brutal, violent death happening every few seconds. Adjusting angle and power, so that's the two controls here. You know, go up and down, go in and out, and we use both WASD and arrow keys, and then also you can use a gamepad. I didn't use that myself. Then when you want to fire, it's a race for who of the two people playing is going to hit spacebar first. So you're kind of deciding whether or not the other person's done, so it's a race to get your locations and settings all the way you want them before you actually go. So the spacebar or right control are both options. So I guess if you're arrow key person versus WASD person, you both have a thumb on your launch mechanism. So you don't actually have to fight over the spacebar, but it might be more entertaining that way, at least in my opinion. So each match is broken up into several rounds. Winning a match earns you a stylish new accessory, and this is where things get absolutely hilarious, because you just stack hats on top of your head in addition to other things, like, indefinitely. I wanted to see what the end goal here was, and I tried to unlock all of the things, and in the however long I spent, I never did. So it's kind of ridiculous. Winning a round adds to your score meter. Fill your score meter all the way to win the match. How much score the round is worth is determined by how much time passes before someone launches. Longer rounds mean more score. This sounds overly complicated, but when you see the game in practice, this is actually, like, completely obvious. The bottom bar shows exactly how much score the round will be worth. A half full bottom bar means the round will fill your score bar halfway, etc. Remember, your hopes, your future, and your value as a human being all rest upon your success in the Smashdown. Win or be forever unloved by all. It's important that all of these letters are capitalized as well for some reason. Okay, so let's do a couple of rounds of Sumo Smashdown so you get an idea what exactly we're up to here. So each cannon has this expulsion of little cubes coming out of it. I'm playing as primarily the one on the right, I suppose, but I'll adjust them both. And our platform in this particular round is moving up and down, so we've got to kind of counter for that. So as you see, the bar on the bottom has filled completely to full. The hand pointing to each red and blue of those markers is saying that this is a match point because this is a full bar. If we would have launched earlier, it wouldn't have been a match point. And let's see if... Okay, so the red player actually won that, which filled the bar on the top left completely to full. Means that was a complete game, set and match, and you win a watch. So then we would do that again. I'm going to not aim the one on the left and get one on the right. You'll see the bar was about half full. That gives us about a half full bar over the blue player. And now that moves the proper corresponding marker for the blue player over on the bottom. And now that was a match point because I actually got more points than was worth there. So I got an icy chain. Fantastic. And there's and see, sometimes things like that'll happen. There's an emergent quality that'll happen in some rounds where the platform will do different unexpected things. Sometimes it'll break like that. I've seen it bend. I've seen it move at the last second. I've seen it be higher and lower, various capacities. I've seen it move far to the left, far to the right. So each round you're going to have a bit of a mix-up in one way or another. I'm not sure if you hitting it in a certain way has something to do with you being able to crash over that thing, or if it's just sort of like, this round, this is going to happen no matter what, and there's like a small chance that you'll stay on it. I don't know. It's kind of funny, though, and it's kind of hilarious that there are all these different settings that can affect the way things end up. And as you play more and more, your characters are obviously going to accrue tons of accessories, which then go flying when you finally go landing on the platform. And that's kind of where the appeal goes. And I could easily see, if this had online multiplayer, I'd be playing this for like hours, probably on the NLSS. I think this would be an excellent game for that. And there we go. So I had a deflection there, and in that case resulted in a win for the red side, and we get a hat. I love the dude that pops up and goes radical or says something silly like that. So there's a number of other factors at play here. If you wanted to kind of change your strategy, you could try launching your sumo extremely hard at the opponent, just for a deflection move if you really wanted to mess them up. That was a complete mismanage on my part. Ended up in me losing the round, and my opponent actually got a win and an accessory for that. Or you could do something super silly, like launch your sumo wrestler up into the sky, and I'm not even trying to land on the platform at this point. But if you notice, he lands on the freaking sun and bounces off. I almost said the moon, but it is very much daylight. And, you know, in general, I really like the presentation of this game, even beyond just the UI and stuff, which is all very good. I really like there's, like, some subtly moving clouds. There's some lens flare stuff going on, some pretty lighting. We've got a lot of stuff going on with the spikes at the bottom. The cannons look fine. And things just get more and more ridiculous, and I really value that in a multiplayer game. It's really easy to learn, it's easy to pick up and play, and I imagine there's probably some sort of evolving meta that if I was to play this with another person, we would spend hours trying to figure out how to screw over the other person more for the sake of better games. Oh, look, we got hair. Yeah, and I must have won like 100 rounds with the dude on the right, and I still was getting more and more accessories, so it's not going to be over for a long time. There is plenty of Sumo Smashdown to play here. I could also see this evolving into a number of other game modes. I think there's a lot of things you could do with this simple concept. Ah, double KO. I thought I still stayed on the platform. I can imagine taking turns at, like, target shooting. Maybe you do best of 3. Can you hit this one, that one, and the other one, and they all have different conditions, and then the other player tries to replicate it. Or you could play horse or something like that, where you do a difficult trick shot and try to bounce the sumo off of various things. I could easily see this turning into sort of like a probably archery-style silly physics game, like a $5 Steam game or something, and if it had online multiplayer, I think this could actually have a pretty fun community around it. Not only for potential co-op matches, but leaderboard scores and things like that I think could be definitely part of this game's future, and I would absolutely love to see that happen. I have no idea whether or not the developer has any interest in doing more with this, but as it stands, even right now, without any of those features, I imagine this would be a really fun local co-op game, and I imagine it could also last for quite a while if you get into the flow of things. And it's very easy, since there's no clear delineation of when to stop playing, to just keep on going indefinitely. Since you're always accruing stuff, it just kind of keeps going forever. I also think that if this saved your progress, that would be really nice too. Because in this case, when you turn off the game, well, your sumos go back to being naked, and that's just sort of sad. Especially because I wanted to show you guys quite how many accessories I had accrued in previous rounds. But what are you going to do? You know, it's not that big of a deal in the scheme of things. Also, some customization might go pretty far with this. If you wanted to, for example, maybe turn the automatic unlocks, or maybe have a separate game mode or something, turn it into you accrue a certain amount of money, then you can go to the shop later and customize your sumo with the most ridiculous accessories possible. I think that could also be pretty fun too. But this way, it keeps the action flowing and it keeps the player choice minimalized, so you don't have to really, or minimized rather, so you don't really have to spend time organizing or sorting through things. And I'm intentionally not trying to even fight the other dude at this point. I'm just trying to win, so you can get more and more hats, and they'll just stack up off the top of the screen eventually. I don't know if it's random or how the accessories are picked, but it does seem like at a point I was getting like 5 or 6 hats in a row. So violent. That's another direction too. The developer could take this into being just ultra violent if they really wanted to, but I kind of like the cartoonish style that it's following right now, where it's like, it's violent, but it's also like kind of silly. I could very easily just pretend that they're dolls and they're just landing on spikes and they're paper, and it doesn't really matter. Now let's see if I can deflect the enemy by trying to shoot my sumo down the other one's turret. There we go. Yep, totally knocked him off. I think if you try to get some really fast paced play, it would really change the structure of how players would approach this game. Because right now, since I have enough time to think and do what I want, I'm not worried about the strategy of the other person who might just want to see me lose, not see themselves win. So, I don't know, it kind of bears playing out how this is all going to go down when you're actually in an active game with somebody who's trying to mess you up. And I'm curious to see how that all works. So, you know, I'm probably going to try and play this the next time I'm around somebody that is willing to, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. So I just wanted to show you guys this one. I hope you enjoy it as well. I hope maybe some of you out there can give me your testimony in the comments of what you had happen if you might have had a chance to play this with a friend. Sweet, I got a fresh new hair color. It's some sort of crazy black and white stripes pattern. And also, eventually, you get futuristic hair that can actually move on its own, which is pretty wild. Like, it'll actually wiggle and stuff, and the line pattern will actually adjust. That's kind of hilarious. So we got another chain. Yeah, I'm getting more and more yen for my nipple covers. Anyway, I think that's about all I have to say for Sumo Smashdown. Definitely go give it a download. It's totally free. Link's going to be right in the description. And like I said, give me some comments. Let me know what you think about this one in particular. I would love to hear your opinions, whether or not you think this is fun as it is, whether or not you think that there are expansions to the idea and formula that would make this crazy more value. I think probably online multiplayer is really the main goal. And would it really be too hard? I guess you'd have to sync up latency with, you know, who hits spacebar when to make sure that everyone gets a fair shake at when they're, you know, adjusting cannons. But, you know, it is a Unity game, I believe, so maybe check the Unity multiplayer checkbox. That's an inside joke. That's not a thing. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. As always, if you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like on it. I hope to see you back for another one tomorrow. New episodes of Indie Impressions go up every single day. So I hope to see you back for another one later. Have a great night, everybody. Talk to you soon.